Channel. Today we are talking about some incredible news that has recently taken place on the Ukrainian front line. Today is August 13th, 2023, and this is news that has taken place August 13th, 2023. So first off, I apologize for this map not being updated. This map is not updated for the 13th, but it's updated for the 12th. So whoever has designed the map has not updated it yet. However, we have confirmation that how Ukraine was trying to take Urozhaine for a pretty decent amount of time during this counteroffensive. Well, the Russians have actually pulled out over here. So now Urozhaine lies in the Ukrainian hands, and many people say the reason we haven't seen any posts from it has been confirmed, but the reason we haven't seen any posts from the Ukrainian side is because the Ukrainians have done that before in towns, and then the Russians will just show their positions by probably geolocating the photos, something like that, and then the Ukrainians will be forced to pull out. So the Ukrainians are trying to be a bit smarter this time and not really give away their positions. However, Urozhaine now is under Ukrainian control, and that has been confirmed by several sources. So that is the big update of today's video. However, the reason many people say Urozhaine was taken by Ukraine was because Ukraine started using the Jadam bomb. And the Jadam bomb was made by the United States. I don't know if the United States supplied it to Ukraine before or after the war. However, it's what the Ukrainians been using. So Ukraine was using this to strike Russian positions, and as you can see, these are videos of the Jadam bombs striking Russian positions. Now, this isn't really the big problem with it's not that the Russian positions are getting struck. Of course, that's what caused the Russians to retreat. It's that the Jadam bomb that the Ukrainians were using was striking the Russian positions being dropped from an aircraft. So you see Ukrainian aircraft now just flying over Russian lines and not being opposed. So they obviously could go in Urozhaine and bomb these Russians to the point where the Russians decided that the best thing to do was to, of course, withdraw. And now Urozhaine is under the Ukrainian control. And I don't know if the Russians are going to try to push back and try to retake it. However, with the Jadam bombs being in use, and with so far from what we know, the Russian air defense systems not knocking down the Ukrainian jets, we're not doing a pretty good job. That's the reason Ukrainian jets could just come in and start bombing. With using these bombs that were very effective, that's why the Russians withdrew. The Russians could retake this place, or this could just be an opening, because Urozhaine is a pretty important town. This could just be an opening for the Ukrainians to finally reach the first line of the Russian defense. So if we go down to this image right over here, and this is the map of Urozhaine. Now, obviously this map is not updated, but we have been basically it has been confirmed that the Ukrainians have captured about this much of Urozhaine, and the battle has officially started. Yesterday, or I believe it was either yesterday or the day before yesterday, we saw Ukrainian troops taking pictures by the front sign of the town. And now this is a rough drawing by me, but basically this much is under Ukrainian control. And there have been Russian reports that the Ukrainians, because Urozhaine would be a long fight, started using chemical weapons into Urozhaine. And if this is the case, first off, that's not the best thing for Ukraine to be doing, but in the sense of capturing Urozhaine, this could call for a quicker Russian withdrawal from Urozhaine because of the chemical weapons that the Russians claim to use. Obviously, only time will tell if this is just a claim or if this is a fact. Most likely Ukraine, if this is a fact, will be denying it, because the use of chemical weapons is not something the Western allies like. So that Ukraine would probably deny that they have done this. If they have done this, then you could see Urozhaine actually falling in the coming days. And even if they haven't done this, with this capture of Urozhaine, they, in my point of view, if Ukraine keeps pushing and if Russia does what they just did in Urozhaine, and if Russia withdraws from Robotyne, then you could see Robotyne fall to the Ukrainian hands within around the next 4 to 5 days. So, and that's just my speculation of what's going to happen in Robotyne. And we have heard reports of some attacks through here and here. Again, this is not an updated map for the 13th. This map is from the 11th. That the Ukrainian forces have been attacking Robotyne from and on this strait. Now, these are just what people are saying. There's no actual proof of this. However, if this is the case, then you can see Russia quickly leave Robotyne within the next couple of days, or 4 to 5 days. That's just speculation again, unless Russia tries to go back and retake what was lost in Robotyne. So now moving on to the Ukrainian wall map. This one in particular. Let's move this aside. So now moving on to this Ukrainian wall map. This was Robotyne and all that stuff. Over here, you see Russian advances. Here, these advances were from the 8th, so there's nothing really going on over here. You also see this place that these were Ukrainian advances, also from the 8th. Nothing going on here, and Russian advances from the 8th as well. Most of these happen all from the 8th per this map. Again, this is a map, so it may have some flaws. However, people all talking about Russia doing their offensive and taking ground, and as we know, Ukraine around this area has ordered the evacuation of, I believe, 30 to 50 villages and towns because the Russians are coming, as they said. So that is all what's going on in the front line. Nothing really major besides, of course, the Ukrainians coming in and, from what many people are saying, capturing Urozhaine, and the Russians withdrawing, and the fact that the Russian air defense system does not seem capable, at least in that area, to stop Ukrainian planes from dropping the Jadan bombs to great effect, and the Robotyne, with the Ukrainian capturing Robotyne and attacks and the use of chemical weapons that Russians said the Ukrainians were using. So that's all for today's update. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys on the next video.